So I just got something pretty cool in the mail and just left on my porch. And I thought I'd do something I haven't done before. And go sort of beginning to end on the mods I'm going to do on this guitar. So let's open it up. Oh, one thing. Whoever sent this to me, it was our friend John from Aurora, Illinois. Spent a lot of money shipping this. It was like $54 and almost $55 to ship this out, but did it really, you know, the whole thing sort of just goes when you pick it up because there's not quite enough tape on the bottom. But it made it here. Hopefully nothing got hurt in shipping this. Yeah, this supposedly didn't have much damage. Let's see what we got though. Oh, it's upside down. Seems to be intact. Nothing too terrible. Seems to have happened in shipping. Not terribly well packed in here, but you can see the post office tends to do a pretty good job. Getting stuff in one piece. I've never lost. Well, I've had a couple close calls, but nothing's been terribly broken from the post office. I've had more awful things happen. And ta-da-da-da! Whoa! Oh, this is cooler than I even thought. Oh, interesting. Well, this was advertised online. I got this off of an online auction site, you know. And this was advertised as Awards, which was like guitars sold at Montgomery Ward. Regal made resonator guitar here, man, and it's been set up, it's been modified over the years because it was clearly originally made to be a Spanish setup, you know, be played like this, and it's been set up Hawaiian or as like a little dobro. Ooh, oh, it's rowdy in there. Interesting buzz is happening. Wow. Anyway, yeah, it's heavier as it would be than normal Regal guitar of this period. It's clearly a laminated top, not nice thick laminated top. It has a classic old guitar smell. It looks to be some kind of. I was wondering if this had been stripped. But it looks to me to be the original finish. It was just natural, and it has this sort of painted on maroon binding. Let's see, can you see all this maroon kind of binding? And we'll take a closer look at it as we start to go through it. Played quite a bit, a lot of wear. I see. Be interesting. Well, here, let's take a little moment here to tune it up and see what it sounds like as in this configuration. I'll get a slide and we'll come back. All right, so tuned it up more or less, but and it seems to have like dobro gauge strings on it. So I tuned it up with like a dobro, which I'm not used to playing, so this is going to be pathetic, but it'll give you a sense what this thing's actually like. Oh, I don't even have a real slide. Oh man, but anyway, so you can see why I want to convert it into Spanish style, because I can at least play it then. But so this is the last. It'll be set up like this. I've already noticed now that it's up to tension, I can't really notice it. There was some crazy buzzing going on. The guy who shipped this detuned it a little bit, and he said he made this big deal in the auction that was like, yes, I've detuned it and bubble wrapped it and blah 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 blah. And it was still a lot of tension on this guitar, more than I would have shipped it with. But it's going to be interesting. Let's take a closer look on the bench. All right, so let's take a closer look at this thing. You see the body. The body is it almost looks like a door skin, like a Luan door skin, but some sort of mahogany-ish kind of material. The neck as well. The neck slightly better. Fingerboard is some sort of also similar hardwood. The resonator cover is brass, and it's starting to wear somewhat attractively. I like when the brass is showing through, and it's got these kind of sort of sunbursty cutout shapes and segmented F-holes, which I've seen, which is what leads me to believe also what people have said. I mean, this was listed as a Ward's Regal because it's awfully similar to other Wards, though it's unlabeled anywhere that I've been able to see other than our Dobro patent number right there. I'm not an expert at all in these. This is sort of the first one of these I've worked on, so I'll be learning along with you guys. But I love Regal instruments, and I've been wanting one of these, a Regal resonator for years here. This one has a spider cone. We're going to take a closer look at this cone. Let's turn it over though first and see the back. And you can see more of this plywood. You can even see on the end here, get more into the light, you can see the laminations where the sort of painted binding strip has worn away. Classic. Let's see here. It looks like it's been doweled, or there's something's been messed with here at this end pin. And we see the lovely wear on the neck. There's a really bizarre, it almost looks like figure. Also, you can see this, yeah, the neck joint here, which is odd. I haven't seen this on Regal guitars that I've worked on, but that doesn't mean it's not standard. And it doesn't look to me, this looks like similar wood that the headstock's made of. It's the right shape and everything. Obviously the tuners have been replaced with something cheap. Really cheap here. I may end up replacing these because they don't seat well. But we'll see. They function fine. And we can see here that just the very back of the neck is starting to lift from the sides here. I have a deep suspicion that the reason this guitar has been set up to be played Hawaiian style, lap style, is because it would probably no longer played with reasonable action when it was set up Spanish style. So I have a feeling my work's going to be cut out for me. But this guitar was relatively inexpensive, and I look forward to learning a lot on it. So I'm going to take the strings off now, and we'll start taking it apart and checking out, seeing what needs to be done. All right, the strings are off. And now I'm starting to notice some things about this guitar. Let's see, focus here. Okay, so clearly this guitar has been played a lot. There's a fair amount of wear, like as a Spanish guitar, you know, in traditional setup. There's a fair bit of wear on the fretboard, lots of divoting, especially in first position here. Now, the really odd thing about this is it has a very narrow string spacing at the nut. Let's see here. It's roughly 1 and 5/8 here at the nut, which is that's narrow spacing, especially for this period. And you can see here that where the joint in the neck. Let's see, let me get back further. Where the joint in the neck happens, it's suddenly the taper becomes a lot more severe. Now, I still don't think this is a grafted on thing, because all the just doesn't make sense to me. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. It'll still be, you know, this isn't out of the realm of what's playable. But you can see that this odd dobro nut they put on that's flared up so much to make it accessible for slide playing. Let's see if we can loosen this easily. I'll have to probably do some light tapping with the hammer to get this off. Other things we notice right away, definitely it's going to need a neck reset, because the angle as it is right now, if we take the straight edge, we're running straight into the resonator here. So it's going to need a pretty big reset, but I was expecting as much. Let's take the resonator cover off and see how things are under the hood. Alright, so I've removed the tailpiece right here. Very similar to the sorts of tailpieces the K would use, though it's markedly different, heavier, wider. I like the patina on it, even though it's rusty. But as I remove the cover here, we see, uh-oh, the original spider, but look at this. One of its little spidery legs is broken. That wasn't in the listing. It's disappointing. Oh, and you know what? This spider has been glued. Oh no, it's not. See, shows you how little I know. Of course, it's screwed into the middle here. I don't think this is going to matter really ultimately. And you can see, look, there's a little break right there in this little cast piece. Look, I didn't expect this thing to be perfect. This is annoying. I'm sure this is going to impact the final sound of this thing. I don't think I'm going to get a new spider for it, though. I really like this old cone. It's all beat up and strange. And I haven't even lifted this part up yet. Let's take a look what's under the cone here. Oh! That's sort of the cool thing about these, oh wow, these guys, is you can see everything that's going on inside. This is really funny. This little one piece of, looks like oak maybe? A little oak support with this little wedge under there. Height of thrift. You can see, ooh, it really smells like an old guitar in there. See the neck joint? Oh yeah, you can see a little Wards label. There's a little Wards label right there. Well, so that confirms that at least. And you can see there's a hole. I wonder if that's a registration hole on the neck block. I don't even know if you can see that. I can't even see what the camera's seeing. Anyway, solid linings. Or no, they're reverse curved. Look at that. You see the kerf is cut on the inside. Very, very interesting. I love looking inside these old instruments. So, and this is vastly different. The inside has finish on it. Very odd. I wonder if these were pre-finished panels back in the day that they just cut out pre-finished plywood. That'd be one way to do it. I wonder. Oh, yeah, and there's this little dot right there at the end of the fretboard. Almost tags it down. I can feel it when I reach under. It sticks all the way through. I can't tell what it's made out of. I'll take a closer look in there, see if we can get to the bottom of it. Of course, the more I'm looking at this, the more I'm starting to notice all sorts of strange things. My thinking is that as the action crept up on this guitar, there was more and more neck pitch. The tongue started to probably interfere with like start to buzz these frets as the hinge sort of gets in there. You know what I mean. This part is on a different plane, and so it hinges, and you end up fretting out. You can see there's been a lot of fretwork. Maybe even these frets have been taken out and replaced. There's a like the 12th fret is pretty cattywampus in there, and even more so, you can notice that someone's playing down the look, you can see there's a clear difference after the 12th fret. Someone's been hacking at the fretboard here. And as I inspect in here, I can't tell what this is. If it's a little piece of it looks like ebony from the outside, but it feels very hard. It's going to create not thrilled about having to deal with that when we heat this fingerboard extension off. But luckily this plywood's pretty robust, I think, and we'll be able to honk on it. I'll probably end up sliding some kind of saw in there to cut that, I expect. Anyway, this is gonna present some interesting challenges when it gets to putting this back together. But I don't think it'll be that big of a deal. But it's this thing has been messed with. I'm not 100% on whether this headstock's been replaced or not. Whoever did it did a good job matching the sort of thing that'd be on there, and it's clearly the same fretboard. That line's pretty... Oof, you can't even see it. The line of the joint is not fantastic. But I still think this is going to be a great guitar. It's just, of course, as is always the case with these things, a lot more work than you expect when you start getting into it. Anyway, next step we'll be taking the neck off.